Today's topic is
marriage in China versus marriage in the West.
I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt.
So Winston, where are we headed today?
Well, since I am about to get married here in China, we're going to go and get my letter of no impediment notarized and translated.
What is that?
Well, before we even talk about that, let's also just explain to people why we're actually on skateboards.
Okay. We are on skateboards because we're in Shenzhen and we can't ride our bikes here. But we decided to keep some continuity for you guys, so we decided to gear up and ride this board in our full motorcycle gear. So we're getting a lot of good looks on the street.
Actually, what we're doing is quite absurd, but we don't want to break from the formula, right?
Right.
Well, here we have lovely slippery top, by the way, everyone.
Dude, watch this. You ready?
Yeah.
This is what we're going to ride on.
If we fall over, well, it'll be fun for the audience anyway.
Exactly.
Not going to be fun for us.
Nope.
By the way, disclaimer, I haven't been on a skateboard since 1989.
1997 for me.
I can still tic-tac.
What is this letter of impediment that you keep talking about? It sounds like sexual in nature.
It's something that's very important, and it's something that if you want to get married in China, you absolutely need.
Okay.
Basically, it's a letter from your government that states that you're not married in your home country.
Okay. So you're saying if I was like a single or a guy that just got divorced in America, but I was just separated, not legally divorced, I couldn't get married here?
No, because you need that document and your government will look it up in the records.
Okay, I gotcha. Should we go in this park?
Yeah, okay.
It's probably more scenic for the folks.
It's more scenic and more difficult to skate.
Yeah. Oh, let's go over the bridge.
Okay.
What the
I don't think I could stop.
Well,
dude.
Here we go.
Dude.
I gotta pause this.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my goodness. Oh
1989.
My goodness. Yeah, nice. Yeah, we really suck, guys. I apologize for this.
Anyway, we're at this nice temple-looking thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the no impediment before we carry on.
Okay.
Very briefly, like I stated, you are not allowed to get married in China unless you have that document. Now, I'm going to quickly say you had to get one for your marriage, right?
Right. That's correct.
How long did it take you? How did you get it?
It took me about a week, and I just had to apply online, I believe. I applied online on like my local government website or something.
And you had to go to your embassy to get it?
No, they mailed it to me in China.
Lucky. Okay. My friend Pete from England, he went to the British embassy, and apparently they just kind of typed on up for him right then and there.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he says anyway. For me, because I'm South African, I had to go to my embassy in Hong Kong or Shanghai, I could choose.
Really?
And it took 4 months.
4 months? Well, I know where you're from, so it makes a lot of sense.
They basically said, I turned up, I'd expected to get one fairly soon.
Right.
They said to me, yes, this will take 4 to 5 months. I was like, why?
That's ridiculous.
Anyway, it did take 4 months, but I have it now, so I'm going to go get it translated. So
nice.
It has to be officially translated by a notary.
Oh, okay. So that's where we're going today.
Correct.
Okay.
Anyway. All right, Seamilk, so why are we qualified to talk about marriage?
Well, for me, it's because I've been married in China at a traditional Chinese wedding, and also a traditional Catholic wedding in America, so to the same woman, if anyone's wondering here. A young buck like myself, I'm married.
Okay.
And you, what about you?
Well, I had a sort of an infusion wedding, what would you say, in Hong Kong. I basically had a Western wedding because my ex-wife really wanted that. But it was semi-traditional as well, you know, there was still elements of traditional Cantonese wedding there. I've also been to, as a best man, to my friend's very traditional wedding in Hong Kong. And I've been divorced in Hong Kong as well. So I think both of us are fairly qualified to talk about weddings here in China.
So before you go get married in China, the first thing you have to do is actually get your wedding photography done.
Which actually has absolutely nothing to do with the actual wedding itself.
Right, exactly. It's actually just like really terrible photos of you and your wife-to-be in bizarre situations. Maybe it's in a classroom, maybe it's sitting on a motorcycle, maybe it is, I don't know, it's all kinds of weird stuff that people do, to be honest. But for me, it was in period clothing, Qing, Ming Dynasty, all that kind of stuff. And wearing dresses, pretty much.
You didn't, you didn't get those horrible like military ones done, did you?
I sure did. I was in Kuomintang, like the KMT nationalist army.
Okay.
But people go to beaches and parks and stuff. And speaking of beaches, let's go here.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about our terrible ordeals when it comes to wedding photography, because we both had it done.
Yeah, but you deleted yours.
Yeah, I think I can still dig some up. I mean, you know, I'm going to have to look pretty hard, but I might be able to find something.
Well, for you guys, this is the first redemption that I have for saving these, because you'll all get to laugh at my period clothing in baby blue with a hat on with bubbles being blown at me while I hold stuffed animals like teddy bears.
Yeah.
No joke.
That's absolutely ridiculous. You know, they did want me to put on all the period clothing, but I kind of refused. I thought it was too tacky.
I gotcha. Yeah, it is pretty tacky,
so,
isn't it?
For me, and in fact, they didn't even have nice suits. I wore my own suit to the wedding shoots. Yeah. But they basically, they load you in like a van, right? And then what they do is they take you out to the beach and then out to some parks, and for the whole day. For you, it's 2 days, right?
Yeah, 2 days in the heat, 40 degrees in dresses.
Yeah, and they basically take you out there with all their equipment and take tons and tons of photos, which they then heavily Photoshop afterwards.
Absolutely. Like, they were putting makeup on my faces. So I'm already wearing these like flowing dresses like a woman, and I got blush and shit on my face.
Yeah.
And like eyeliner, and get this. So they come up to me, right, the makeup artist?
Yeah.
He comes up to me and goes, "You don't really have any eyebrows." And I'm like, "Well, F you."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah," he draws them on my face.
Nice.
It was awful.
Anyway, so they make you like a photo album and a couple of pictures that you can then go and put on your wall, like some big prints. And, well, mine cost around about 5,000 plus RMB. What about yours?
I can't remember. Something around there, probably.
Yeah, anyway, so this gets done way before you get married.
Right.
Let's actually, since we're down here anyway, let's start talking about marriage itself and the differences between, you know, Chinese weddings and marriages and Western marriages.
So when I got married in America, this is after my Chinese wedding actually.
Yeah.
When I got married in America, I actually got married in a church, a Catholic church, right?
Right.
And I didn't have to go to the marriage registrar's office or anything like that, because what they do is they separate religious ceremonies from government things. And religious ceremony in America is considered a legal ceremony.
Yeah, you actually have to sign the marriage register in
but
the
it all
church.
happens in the church,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's part of that.
But in China,
not
it's
here.
not.
Yeah, not here. In fact, you can do what you want ceremony-wise, but it doesn't count as a marriage.
Right.
You can only legally get married in the court office.
Correct. And it's a sterile place, I'll tell you that. I had to go in there and put my hand over a red book and swear my wedding allegiance, marriage allegiance to the government here in China. And I had to actually read some stuff in Chinese as like my bond, basically. And then after that, they took my blood, tested it for some other reason. I think I asked and they never told me.
Yeah, I don't think they'll let you get married if you have AIDS or like some kind of serious. It's the same with like when you get a work permit here.
Really?
You have to get a health test and they won't actually let you get a work permit if you have AIDS.
I gotcha. Wow, that's slippery. So I think a lot of people came here to watch a video about the differences between a Western wedding and a Chinese wedding.
Yep, okay, so you've gone through the whole traditional wedding, so how about you go for it?
So the first thing I did was I had to go to my wife's family's house, right? Her grandma was waiting for me, and I had to kneel down, say, "Hey, can I marry your daughter or your granddaughter?" She's like, "Yeah." Pour her tea, give her a bunch of money, and then she gives me a bunch of money and then her blessings, and she's like, "Yeah, cool, you can marry my granddaughter." And then after that, they hide the bride's shoes, and the groomsmen have to go find them.
Oh yeah, I know all about those games. I was a best man at one of these weddings. So my friend Dave, he got married in a very traditional way in Hong Kong.
Okay.
And you get to choose, I think, well, I'm not sure the amount, but there were 5 best men, and there were 5 bridesmaids. And they get you to play all these weird games, like...
Like what?
Well, they had us, for instance, walking around in public, asking random people to sign a document to say that Dave loves his wife.
Oh, okay.
Had us like put lipstick on our lips and do push-ups and kiss a piece of paper.
Oh,
And Dave had to pull all these strings that were under a door and
weird.
like beg her to come out and
Sure.
we had to give money to the bridesmaids.
Same here, just to like win them over or whatever. Yeah.
So there's all sorts of funny things involved. Actually, it was quite a lot of fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it was a whole day thing. You start
Sure.
early in the morning,
Yeah.
all the way to the actual dinner event, which is late at night.
Yeah, and that's the weird part, to be honest. That's the part where it's not Chinese tradition. You get on this like stage, and it's almost like a game show. And you were there as like a host, and he's like,
there's an MC, and he's
like sing songs. So I have to sing all these like communist songs, and you were there like pissing your pants laughing.
yeah,
as I'm
especially
wearing
you,
a dress.
you in your dress, yeah.
And I'm like shaking. I'm so nervous in front of 300 people singing like there's no government except for the Chinese government or some weird songs, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just humiliating. But anyway, after the wedding, it didn't feel like mine. It's for the family, right? So all the money that went to us actually went to her parents. We saw nothing.
Oh yeah, I've got a similar story. I told you I had an infusion wedding.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had an infusion wedding, and it was quite frustrating because although I paid for absolutely everything, venue and food and alcohol and everything, her mother ended up taking all of the lucky money that came into the wedding from the Chinese guests.
Well, that's not very lucky for you.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, there's a huge difference between Chinese weddings and Western weddings. You know, in the West, usually the father of the bride will pay.
Right, right.
But over here, it's the family of the groom that pays.
Correct.
And because here it's more like you're buying the daughter, right?
Right.
You're buying something. Whereas overseas, I kind of feel it's like the father's had to look after this girl her whole life, and, he's just very happy to get rid of that burden. So
That's one way to look at it.
He's like, here, please, take off my hands, I'll pay you.
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. I'm literally kidding. To all you women out there, no disrespect intended. But that is the difference. You really do have to pay if you're the man here.
Sure, that's correct. And I think that there's actually like an important cultural significance.
Yeah.
And that is, I get the feeling, at least because I had weddings in both countries, that the wedding in the West is more about the couple and the love. And the wedding in the East is about two families coming in union. And I think that's why a lot of Chinese families disagree with their daughter or son marrying a foreigner.
Oh, yeah. It's more for the family than the couple here, to be fair.
Family gets the money. Families come together, families have the exorbitant banquet. In the West, they're like, have a nice honeymoon, you guys love each other, you're going to be together forever, right?
Yeah, it is very different, and it's very much around like what the other family can give the family as far as money and status is concerned.
Sure.
All right, Seamilk, now unfortunately we're going to have to talk about divorce.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, I've been through it. I'm sure there are people that are curious.
Okay.
Now, I can't really talk about divorce without actually talking about getting married in Hong Kong.
Oh, I thought we were going down here.
Okay, hang on.
You're leaving me alone! Son of a bitch!
Right, maybe we should walk for this part.
Yeah, it's very slippery.
Yeah, so getting married in Hong Kong was actually very easy.
Right.
I did not need a letter of no impediment or whatever.
Oh, cool.
I just had to basically sign. Let's walk down here, looks nice. I had to sign to say that I'm not married, and I promise by law, that I'm not married overseas.
Oh, they're so trusting.
Yeah, so it was very easy. But getting divorced, that was a nightmare. It's all based off British law, right?
Sure.
So it took me like 2 years, a year and a half to get divorced.
For
I had
real?
to first of all prove why I had to get divorced. You have to have a reason.
Right.
Even if both parties want to get divorced, you can't.
Right.
You have to be legally separated for a year. There's all sorts of nonsense involved. I had to go to the court about 4 or 5 times. And there were various documents. I had to get decree nices and decree this and that, and all sorts of legal stuff. So it was a pain in the ass, but I did eventually get divorced.
Okay, well, congratulations, dude. The funny thing about getting divorced in China is actually it's easier than getting married, as long as you don't have any like economical disagreements. So like, oh, you have this house, and the lawyers are involved. As long as they're both mutually amicable, they're like, okay, let's get divorced. It takes 5 minutes, because the marriage box that I got married in, right next to it, like I said, is the divorce box.
Okay.
I mean, we could go on about divorce forever, but we might as well save that for another episode.
Right, Seamilk, is there anything you want to say to our subscribers before we sign off?
As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and skate on, guys.
And if you don't like, comment, or subscribe, at least remember, as always, stay awesome.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind